The Royal Wulff, although somewhat garish in appearance, has proven itself over numerous decades to be a remarkably effective dry fly pattern, particularly in rough water. I do tie the body on mine a little differently than most people, but there are many ways to achieve the same result. I like to tie them on dry fly hooks with fairly long shanks, like the TMC 100. These are size 12, but the pattern works well anywhere from about a 10 all the way down to an 18. For the majority of the fly, I'll be using black 70 Denier ultra thread. Start your thread with some space behind the hook eye. Leave your thread at about the 3/4 point on the hook shank. This is where your wing will be. Here I'm using calf body hair for the wing, but calf tail also works very well. Snip a fair-sized clump from the hide and then give it a good stacking to align the tips. If you need to, flip the bundle around so the tips point toward the hook eye. Measure to produce a wing that is 1 hook shank in length. Saving that measurement, move the bundle up to the tie-in point and with a pinch wrap, secure the calf hair to the top of the hook. Calf hair is slippery stuff, so bind it down really well. Pull the hair tips back and build a thread dam in front to prop the wing up. Make a couple of wraps behind the wing to really lock everything in place. Snipping the butts off at an angle will help to create a smooth body later on. Separate the calf hair into 2 equal clumps for the wings, then make figure 8 wraps to separate them. Take wraps around the bases of each wing to collect any stray fibers and add support. Wrap down the butt ends to produce a smooth ramp to the hook shank. If you have any errant hairs, now's a good time to snip them off. I like to add a drop of Zap-A-Gap between the wings to ensure they stay upright and separated. Finally, wrap your thread back to the bend of the hook. Moose body hair works great for the tail on this fly. Snip a small clump free from the hide and then remove the fluff. Although moose hair stacks really well, you may have to pull out an errant fiber or 2 from the bundle. Measure the bundle to create a tail 1 hook shank in length, and then with a pinch wrap, secure it to the top of the hook. Pull the butt ends back and snip them off to create a smooth transition into the wing butts. Wind your thread all the way back to the base of the tail. On this size 12, I'm going to use 3 Peacock hurls to form the body of the fly. Break or snip about 1.5 inches off the tips of the hurls, as they can be rather brittle. Secure the hurls to the top of the hook shank, and then with hackle pliers, get hold of the butt ends. Snip the butt ends off close so they don't get in the way later on. Twist the hurls until they begin forming a nice uniform rope, but don't twist too much or you'll end up breaking them. Begin wrapping the hurl rope around the hook shank to form the body of the fly. Here the process is sped up a little bit. Once you have the hurls secured, snip them off close. Prepare a Coachman brown hackle for tie-in. With the dull side facing you, strip about 1/8 of an inch of fibers from the top side of the stem to ensure the hackle wraps correctly. Starting behind the wing, secure the hackle to the hook shank and then take several wraps in front of the wing. A Royal Wulff should have a fairly bushy hackle collar. 3 or 4 wraps behind the wing, followed by 3 or 4 more in front, is about right. With the wraps complete, secure the hackle tip, trying your best not to trap fibers as you go. You can then snip the remainder of the hackle off close. Do a whip finish, either by hand or with a whip finish tool, and then snip or cut your tying thread free. You can then add a drop of head cement if you like. Finally, load a bobbin with red thread, here UTC 70. Start taking wraps at the midway point of the body. Once the thread is secured, you can cut the tag end off close. Take wraps to form a red segment about 1/3 of the body in length. Whip finish either by hand or with a large whip finish tool, and then snip or cut your tying thread free as close as possible. I always use a drop of head cement on this segment to ensure it doesn't come unraveled. The Royal Wulff is an oldie but a goodie and definitely deserves some space in a fly box, especially for those who regularly fish rough, tumbly water.